Greetings, Guardians of Dominion, Zeus here. Something just happened to Mushy and Shroom that could end up being much bigger than it looks at first glance. And the moment you connect all the pieces, you start to see why this hero may be stepping into a completely different kind of role in the battles ahead. Mushy and Shroom just received ascension skills together with a skill rework, and the biggest question now is this: does history repeat itself? What do I mean by that? We already saw a very similar pattern with Krista and Cascade. Right before Cascade arrived to Dominion, Krista got reworked, and received ascension skills. That timing did not feel random, and because of that, it is fair to ask the same question again now. Are we looking at another setup like that? So now the question becomes even more interesting. Are Mushy and Shroom together with Birna about to become part of the new meta? There is a reason why this matters. Krista and Cascade did not just create a good synergy. They changed the way battles were played, and they shifted the meta in a visible way. So now it feels like Mushy and Shroom might be stepping into that same kind of moment. Is this their turn? That is what makes these changes so exciting. Let's go deeper into the new Mushy and Shroom skills and see what exactly was changed. The first ascension skill is autonomous copy. Shroom's copies stay active even after Mushy and Shroom die. And this is a very serious upgrade. It means that if Mushy and Shroom fall in battle, the fight does not simply end there. If their two copies are still alive on the battlefield, they remain active unless the enemy kills them directly. In other words, Mushy and Shroom can die, but the pressure they created can still continue. And that is where this becomes really dangerous. If those Shroom copies are still on the battlefield after Mushy and Shroom die, they keep receiving healing from Birna, they keep attacking, and they keep creating spore mushrooms. So even after the main hero is gone, the battlefield presence remains. That is what makes this skill feel so big. It is not just survival value. It is continued momentum. It is continued pressure. It is like Mushy and Shroom already planted their game plan into the battlefield, and even death does not fully stop it. The second ascension skill is mycelium connection. Mushy and Shroom restore health when a spore mushroom or a Shroom's copy fully restores their health for the first time. So here we are getting something very important as well: self-healing. This means Mushy and Shroom are no longer relying only on outside support to keep scaling through the fight. Their own summons and copies now help feed sustain back into the main hero, which makes the whole system feel much more connected. Now when you combine that with Birna, this is where things start getting really interesting. You already have self-healing inside Mushy and Shroom's own kit, and then on top of that you add Birna's healing support. But it is not only about restoring lost health. With Birna on the battlefield, Mushy and Shroom and their copies are not just healing more. They are also increasing their maximum health. That part is extremely important, because it means the ceiling keeps going up. So the longer the battle goes, the more value this combination can create. The healing cap rises, the maximum health rises, and that means the copies can become harder and harder to remove. In long fights, they can even start reaching health values that go beyond what you would normally expect, potentially even growing into a bigger problem than Mushy and Shroom themselves. That is the kind of scaling that can completely change the rhythm of a battle. And then there is Birna's first artifact, which gives magic penetration. This is exactly what Mushy and Shroom need. That is another reason why this pairing stands out so much. If Birna is already bringing magic penetration into the team, then suddenly you do not feel the same pressure to add extra magic penetration support heroes like Polaris or Orion just to make Mushy and Shroom hit properly. Birna covers a key need by herself, and that makes team building around this duo much more flexible. That is why I feel Birna's kit is going to support Mushy and Shroom very strongly in battle. I do not want to say with full certainty that history repeats itself, but I do think we have a very strong clue here. The signs are there. The synergy is there. The design direction also feels familiar. Mushy and Shroom and Birna look like a duo that was meant to work together, and I honestly cannot wait to test them more in real battles. And the more I look at it, the more it feels like this may be a new way of releasing heroes. Instead of dropping one strong hero and letting players figure everything out later, it feels like the game may be moving toward releasing heroes in pairs or in connected setups, where one hero immediately gives extra value to another. If that is really the case, then Mushy and Shroom with Birna may be one of the clearest examples of that idea. Just imagine the full picture. Birna's healing increases maximum health, while also providing healing to Mushy and Shroom, their copies, and their spore mushrooms. So the entire field starts becoming harder to clear. The summons stay relevant longer, the copies keep functioning longer, and the fight can slowly tilt more and more in their favor. That is what makes this combination so interesting. It is not explosive in the simple sense. It is oppressive over time. And from the few battles I tested today with Mushy and Shroom, one thing was already very noticeable. Their healing is clearly better than before. You can actually see that constant healing effect once Mushy and Shroom start creating spore mushrooms and copies. Their health keeps climbing, and the sustain feels much more visible during the fight. That is not a small detail. That changes how confidently Mushy and Shroom can stay active while the battle continues. But there is still one important point to understand about Mushy and Shroom. This hero needs slower battles, not very fast ones. Mushy and Shroom want time. They want the fight to stretch. They want room to create copies, spawn spore mushrooms, build sustain, and slowly take over the battlefield. That is where their value really starts to grow. So if Mushy and Shroom and Birna truly become a strong pair, then I believe we may be heading back towards slower battles again. And if that happens, this duo could become one of the reasons why the pace of the meta starts shifting in that direction. So in the end, Mushy and Shroom got a real boost. Better sustain, stronger scaling, and with Birna, the synergy already looks very promising. Now tell me in the comments, do you think this duo can shape the new meta? If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next one. Stay sharp, test smart, and dominate the battlefield. Salute and friendship.